and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a review of All About Reading. We're going to be looking at All About Reading Level 2. Let's get started. We're going to look at the All About Reading curriculum and see what the benefits are of this curriculum and what we think about this curriculum in our homeschool. So when you receive the All About Reading curriculum, you'll receive the teacher's manual, the student packet, you'll receive the readers. This level 2, has 2 readers that come with it, and you'll receive the All About Reading cards. This box that comes with it, the reading review box, is optional, and it is not a required purchase for All About Reading, but I find that it's very helpful to use to be able to keep my cards in order. But any plastic box that you can buy at a craft store or on Amazon would work just as well for this curriculum. So let's dig in. The beautiful thing about All About Reading is that the teacher's manual is so beautifully written. It has a very comprehensive guide to help you teach your student how to read. Now this is level 2. My youngest finished level 2. Now this is level 2. My youngest finished level 1, and I did actually sell it. They do have a very high resale value, and I was able to purchase another level for my older son who's also doing All About Reading. So in preparing for level 2, it tells you exactly what you need to do to be successful with this program. So it goes through exactly what you need, what you should know, and it has that placement test. Hopefully you've done the placement test before you've purchased All About Reading, but if you haven't, I highly recommend that you complete the placement test to make sure that your student is working on the right level before you begin the program. The worst thing that we want to do is have a student who's frustrated because they're not placed at just the right level. So this is the placement test, and then it tells you about what you'll see in the teacher's manual. So it goes through the activity book next that the student has, and the progress chart. Every level has a progress chart that every student fills out after each lesson to help them see the progress that they're making in their learning. It tells you how to keep a read aloud record, activity sheets, your warm-up sheets, the practice sheets, and the readers. Then it talks about how to prepare your review box. Now let's look at that while we are on this page. So I do have the review box, and in my review box, especially in this level, my review box is big enough to fit both the All About Reading cards and the All About Spelling cards. So I do use both All About Reading and All About Spelling with my students, and I use both of them in the same box because normally as soon as I'm done with All About Reading, I go right into All About Spelling, and it's all right here for me. I don't have to swap boxes, and you can see that really what would I do with the rest of this box. They do give you some of these foam things to keep your cards, so that they're not falling in the box, but I find it's just easier to keep All About Spelling in the same box. So the tabs are divided. Let's see. The tabs are divided, and you can see, is it going to, there we go. Okay, so you have your phonogram review, your phonograms mastered, and your phonograms for future lessons. And then you have your word card review, mastered, and future lessons. These are all of the things that you'll need for All About Reading. then we had the letter tiles. Now, you can choose one of two ways to use these letter tiles. You can use the letter tile app, or you can use the whiteboard in order to get your student really moving those letter tiles to make and build each word. With my family, we've decided to use the letter tiles app because it is so easy to just grab the iPad and go. I don't have to worry about where is the letter A, what happened to Q, where is CH. I know with my children, the letters would be everywhere. And for me, I just don't want to deal with trying to find them. So this app is fantastic. The kids think it's so much fun to have something they can play with on the iPad while they're learning. So this does go into what exactly comes in the tiles, what comes with them, how to set it all up so that you can get your whiteboard looking pristine and ready to go for your student. Now, this next part talks about previewing the letter sounds. It is very important when you're teaching children phonics to use synthetic phonics, and that means just using the pure sound and not adding any additional sounds to the word or to the letter. So that's like b instead of buh. So you're not teaching at the end of b. You're just teaching b. So that's a little different. If you're my age, if you're the same age as me, you probably learned it b, k, d, s. You know, those different sounds. That's not how we teach phonics anymore because we want them to blend purely. So do yourself a big favor and brush up on your letter sounds. I know it sounds silly, right? That as an adult you'd need to brush up on that. But it's a good thing to brush up on to make sure that you're fresh and you're teaching your student as well as you can. You'd be surprised when you get in a lesson you're like, wait a minute, what sound does that make? How exactly do I break that sound out of a word? So now this talks about how much time should I spend on reading. So how much are you doing? Spend 20 minutes per day teaching reading. Now this is purely a guide. If your student is an older student and they're ready to go and they've got the ability to just keep going, then by all means do that if that works for you. If your student has any inability to sit for long periods of time, or you just can't keep them focused for all 20 minutes, break it up and do 10 minutes twice a day. Whatever works for your child. This is the best part of homeschooling, being able to do whatever works for your child. And know that lessons often take more than one day to complete. We don't usually get through a lesson in a day, and sometimes it takes us a week to get through a lesson, and that's okay. It just depends upon your child. The best thing that you can do is move in the exact pace that your child is moving. In addition to the lessons, read aloud to your student for 20 minutes a day. So this can be with them sitting next to you, this can be an audiobook in the car, this can be really any sort of read aloud. You can have an older sibling read to a younger sibling when they're doing their reading for the day. That will increase your child's ability to hear and process words more quickly, which is so important for our kiddos. So now we get into the lesson plans. Each unit has a little mascot or kind of theme to it, and this unit or this level's mascot is a little frog. So he likes to give you little funny things to say, and my students actually love to read these little things or have me read to them, and it's very cute. They're very cute. So lesson 1 is always usually a review of the things that you know, and it talks about this in yellow is for the teacher. So this tells you your objective, what you'll need, and before you begin, what you need to know as the teacher. Take a moment before you begin your lesson to read through this so you know exactly what your student will be learning that day. It goes on to the next page as well, and it talks about what a closed syllable is, what an open syllable is, and why are they beneficial. Then it talks about review. Review from level 1. The first is always usually a review. And you can see it tells you exactly how to set up the letter tiles. Then it will tell you when to introduce new topics, what game or activity they're doing, and then your fluency sheets. It also gives you tips on how to do these fluency sheets and make them a little bit more fun because they can be pretty dry. Let's look at this activity. So you would complete the activity. It tells you remove pages 15 to 18 from your activity book. Now let's look at that in our activity book. So pages 15 to 18. Let's see. So this is page 15, 16, 17, 18. Very good. So what we would do is place this in front of the student, and we're going to cut out our little monsters here. And when your student reads the word, they get to place the monster. Is it at the open party or the closed party? Which one is the monster going to? So these games are very simple, but for the student, they are so fun. My children want to play these games over and over and over again. And frequently, when I have one student that's sitting across from us at the table doing an independent activity or an independent lesson, they'll frequently stop what they're doing and want to come over and play the game with us. So that is incredible with getting your student that is learning the concept involved in the game, and you're also getting extra practice in for other students that you have. It's fantastic. Then you read aloud for 20 minutes and they get their little sticker on the progress chart when they finish. So each lesson is set up this way. Blends at the beginning, so you will see what they want you to know. Then you will do a review. You'll play change the word. It shows you exactly how to do it. You can even see that it is completely scripted. What is this word? Plan. I'm going to add a tile to this word. Add the t to form the word plant. What does this new word say? Then it tells you what to do. Build the next word. Then it's in quotations that it tells you exactly what to say. Then you play change the word for quite some time to help them understand the difference between wept and swept. Then you complete the activity. Now they are introducing the reading cards. So now you would get your cards out of your review binder or your review box, and you would review them with your student. Once you review them with your student, you'll place them under the review tab, and they'll continue to work on those cards at the beginning of every lesson. You can see in this next lesson here, the first thing we're going to do is review our phonogram cards and review our word cards. So this is all about reading. The thing that I like most about All About Reading are the stories. This is a lesson that you will read a story in. You'll find through All About Reading that usually the student will be taught a new concept, and the next lesson they're reading a story about that concept. So it's teach a concept, read a story about the concept. So that works out really well. It helps the students understand that they can read, and it gives them confidence. So for this story, you're going to review the story, and then you'll do your review of the phonograms and the word cards. Then you're going to do an activity to help them remember the concept. Then they're going to read a warm-up sheet. Now this is key. Let's take a look at that. This warm-up sheet is on page 33 in our student guide. So you're going to open the student guide. Oh, look, here's the progress chart. on 33, here is the warm-up sheet. So it's not very long. It just gives them an opportunity to get used to the words they'll see in the story and the phrases they'll see in the story. They also will learn usually a new vocabulary word that goes along with the story. So this helps the student to be able to see what they're going to see in the story. Okay, so they get that practice before they go in. So let's take a look at this story. This is volume 1, and this should be our first story that we'll see. Twist and Stomp. All right. So you can see these stories are very colorful. The illustrations are beautiful. Can you see them well? They are absolutely gorgeous. And there are no words in here that your student has not already learned. Now keep in mind, this is level 2. This is not level 1. So this story is beautiful. The students love reading these stories. My kids adore them. My son, who is now in level 4, will go back and reread the stories over and over again. And you know what? That is building reading fluency. That's amazing. They're highly engaging, and they're not long at this level. So this story, it ends on page 21. It started on page 10. So it's 11 pages, and usually there's, one line of text, maybe 2, on each spread. So it's very engaging to the student, and it's easy enough for them to be able to complete it and feel confident that they did it well. So that is the gist of All About Reading. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you did. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.